let's get into it. So yesterday I made a double feature. So first I went to go see Civil War. Well, first I was running around doing a lot of stuff. I went and got a haircut. I went to work out at the gym, and then I was like, okay, I got a little time to get something to eat real quick. And then I ran my ass over to the movies because I said I was gonna be there for a while. And I was like, let me check out some films. And I really feel like 2024, even though like it's been happening with the pandemic and everything, and now we're slowly starting to get back into the groove of things. I was like, you know what? Let me go check out a couple of films. And so far, 2024 has been really, really. I mean, unlike the music industry, 2024 has really been, pretty solid when it comes to movie releases. So I happened to go see this movie from Alex Garland, and I'm pretty much a fan of Alex Garland's films. Like I liked Ex Machina. I think he also had something to do with Dread. Let me see if he has something to do with that. Did he direct that? Well, the word on the card was they said that he actually did direct it. But Pete Travis was the one who was correct, who was credited, but they trying to say Alex Garland was the one who finished it. And to be honest, I thought Dredd was a really good movie. I'm still upset that we haven't gotten a sequel. I really liked Carl Urban as Dredd. And to me, I like a lot of Alex Garland stuff because Alex Garland is someone who will take stuff that could possibly happen and he basically fictionalizes it. Like the whole thing with Ex Machina and the whole robot and who was in that? Was it Ana de Armas? I think was in that, and Oscar Isaac. I actually like the premise of that film. And then with this movie, it's yeah, I feel like if we're not too careful, shit, what happened in here in the movie could actually happen in real life. So for those of you who are not familiar, Civil War is a 2024 dystopian film written and directed by Alex Garland. It's set in the near future. It follows a team of journalists traveling across the United States during the Civil War, which has engulfed the nation. The ensemble cast, includes Kirsten Dunst, Wagner Moura, Kaylee Spaney, Stephen McKinley, Henderson, Sonoya Mizuno, Nick Offerman, and Jesse Plemons. Nick Offerman plays the president, a Donald Trump S president. They ain't say what it was, but with the fascism and all the other stuff that was engulfed in this president, and now he causes civil war, and he was a 3-term president, and how he was hiding out. Okay, so basically the premise of the story, because it basically just says, oh, they're traveling across a dystopian America. The whole goal for them is that they're busy filming. They go in and they take pictures and stuff, and they photograph war zones. So they go into the war zones, and there's like they're capturing a lot of stuff that happens. So if limbs are being blown up, or people are protesting, and there's an explosion or shootouts, whatever the case is, they're putting themselves in the line of fire for that adrenaline rush, and also to get to get those pictures for the people who they work for, which I believe they said Reuters. Oh, Reuters, however the hell you say it. But anyway, so they went in, they take the pictures, they put themselves in a line of fire, and that sort of thing. So that's what happens. But the big finale thing, the main goal for them is they're trying to travel to DC to get a one-on-one interview with the president, who has holed himself up in the White House while the world is engulfed in this while America is engulfed in this crazy war. And I also found it fascinating that there was this one scene where they're traveling to this area, I forget where it was, and the whole area looked like very Leave It to Beaver. It was like a nice little town where everybody just kind of living this normal life. Reminded me a lot of The Walking Dead. But then they were like, just look up at the roof. And then you look up at the roofs or whatever, and it's still like they have those guys up there with their semi-automatic weapons. So while they're going about their lives pretending like the world isn't crumbling and the world isn't, falling into the fiery pits of hell around them, in reality, they still have that little bit of protection. So they're not entirely like trying to walk around brainwashed or delusional, but they've convinced themselves that they're living this normal life, even though you got these people on rooftops making sure that nobody comes in and tries their shit, because then they'll get killed on sight. So I like that idea, and I also love the fact of this whole thing. What I particularly loved about the film was the photography. It's like juxtaposing the photos of them taking those shots of what was happening around them and interlinking it with the violent shots of the movie. And I jumped a couple of times too. There was even a moment in the film, and I don't want to give it away in case anybody sees it, where we lose a character, and I actually cried watching it. So yeah, I'll be getting emotional and stuff when I be going to the movie. So definitely it's good. Kirsten Dunst was good, and it also played into this, because I see a lot of people on Twitter and all these other places getting all mad and talk about, oh, it's a woke film, or what's this, or what's that. I'm like, first of all, suck my ass with the goddamn woke word because I feel like so many other words that I hear people out here using, like grooming and awesome, amazing, all the like certain words. Y'all be using those words so much and to death that you've taken away the actual meaning of it. Tired of trying to tell people what woke means. It's basically just being aware of things that's happening to people who are marginalized, meaning non-white and male. Because everybody else, if you're not white and you're not a man, everybody else is another. So seeing how these people are really fighting amongst each other, but not realizing who the real enemies are, and there's a lot of our government, a lot of these politicians who are bought and paid for, a lot of these other things that's going on. And it's cool, and it was cool to see how like the military was like, okay, well, we're not emboldened by this president anymore. We going in to kill this motherfucker, and then y'all can come along and do what y'all need to do with it. So I actually love that the shootouts, the action sequences were really on point and great. I really thought that this was a really good movie. It's very thought provoking, and I love the idea of them kind of doing like this whole both sides thing instead of being like Republicans bad, Democrats good. Because quiet as it's kept, if you follow me when I talk about politics, I look at both sides and they're two peas in a pod. It's just the fact that at least one thing I will give credit to with the Republicans, even though I can't stand a lot of them motherfuckers anyway, because y'all a bunch of racist, homophobic, transphobic, anybody that's a other that ain't white and male, y'all not here for. And y'all busy trying to take away people's rights. At least they're upfront about their shit. And me, when it comes to my enemies, I'd rather you be upfront with who you are instead of being a sneaky mother father behind my back. And that's what I feel like a lot of times Democrats do when it comes to situations. And a lot of times y'all will gaslight women when it comes to abortion issues, where it's like y'all could have stopped a whole lot of these things that's going on with abortion, but y'all like to little dangle the carrot in front of people. See, it's their fault that we lost it. But it's like, but when you have the opportunity to have the power to run a lot of these places, when you had the House, when you had the Senate, when you had all these things, you could have prevented abortion from being put in a place of where it is, where Donald Trump had that shit, pulled back, or Republicans are going around saying that at a certain amount of months it's considered barbaric to have an abortion, even if it's rape or incest. So Democrats, you ain't innocent in this shit either. And that's why I know a lot of people get mad when they talk about Democrats and Republicans, and they talk about um Joe Biden is the lesser of two evils. Quiet as it's kept, I think they both evil. But we're stuck in this shitty ass two-party situation. It would be nice if we could have had more of a progressive third party. But until people really start to understand politics and all this other stuff, I feel like we're just gonna be stuck dealing with two shitty parties until we can get out of that whole situation, and there be a day where we get a progressive third party that really cares about the people and is not bought and paid for. Especially how when I say it's funny how Biden can find the time to get on the phone and call Netanyahu to stand down about Iran, but you was real quiet when it was going on to the people over in Gaza. And then I just saw something today about the United Nations and what's going on with Gaza and that whole situation where they were denied help and all this other mess. So it's a lot of craziness going on. I didn't want to get too political, but the fact is, I did like the idea where it's just sort of like, we're going to put these things in front of you when it comes to politics and what's going on in the world, and we want you to figure out and decide for yourself what this is, instead of being like, Republicans bad, Democrats good. So I like when you can kind of make a vague situation about what's going on in the world, and how at any point any kind of politician who becomes president could become sort of like this fascist person and then hide in the little White House with all these people, you know, and while the world is burning around them. So there was a lot of crazy nail biting moments. I definitely recommend that everybody go out and see this film. It is a good film. A24, in my opinion, has definitely been doing a damn thing when it comes to a lot of the movie releases. Like I've liked a lot of things that's come out of A24. I'm looking forward to seeing Maxine. There's another movie that's coming out and I forgot what it was, but it was a trailer they just showed, and it had Justice Smith in it, and it was like some sort of TV character or whatever that might be a demon or something or another. That actually looked really cool. There was, and I loved Hereditary, Midsommar. First of all, that Hereditary scene, y'all know the scene I'm talking about. That shit still lives in my head to this day and freaks me out. So A24 has definitely been laying it down when it comes to quality movies. I highly recommend this film. Even whatever your political beliefs are, just go see the film and just try to have empathy and understand like how the world is and what's going on. If we not too careful, we might end up like that shit too. I hope not, but sometimes I was like, well, damn, could you imagine we all living like this? Like the world's, going to hell in a handbasket. We all living in tents and shit trying to survive. I do love a post-apocalyptic movie.